Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn about for loops in Python. So what is a for loop? A for loop allows you to iterate over a sequence, like a list, string, or range, and perform actions for each item in the sequence. And for loops are used when you have a predefined collection or iterable to process. Okay, let's talk about loop control statements. One is break. So break ends the loop immediately when a specific condition is met. Continue skips the rest of the current iteration and moves to the next item in the sequence. And else runs after the loop completes successfully without encountering a break. And pass does nothing. It's a placeholder for future use. Future code. This is the syntax of for loop. So for item in sequence colon and the code to execute. So the code should be indented. Okay, let's talk about a basic example of for loops. So here what we are doing here is we are assigning this list to a variable called devices, and then we are defining a for loop. So for, this is the keyword. Device is a loop variable. This is a variable. You can name this whatever you want, and in and the list. So devices is the list, and you have to add a column. This is how you would read this. So for each item, or the item is the device, in the devices list, this is the devices list, print each device. So this is basically what this for loop is doing in this example. Okay, let me go ahead and get into the IPython interactive shell. So I'm gonna just copy and paste one by one. So we are, like I said earlier, we are just defining a list, and then this is the syntax. So again, for the variable in, this is the keyword. So in meaning in the devices list, and this is the devices list, and then colon, and here you notice that after I entered, the cursor is automatically indented. So if I type print, it's automatically indented. So the output that we expect here is basically the list of the devices. This IP addresses. So that's a basic example of a for loop. So now let's talk about the loop control statements. The first one is the break statement. So in this example, we are just breaking out of the loop when a specific condition is met. So same list, right? We have this list already defined, and what we can do is actually just copy and paste this line of code, and then this is the if statement. So we are saying here that if device, one of these devices, is equal to this IP address, we say print. So print stopping in the loop in the console, and then break. So if I enter this, once the iteration goes through this IP address, which is in this case 192.168.1.2, it breaks the loop. So we were able to print because we have the print statement here. But if I remove this, and we shouldn't see the IP address, the 192.168.1.2 IP address, and actually also the .1 IP address. Okay, so that's how you break out of the loop when a specific condition is met using a break statement. Now let's talk about the continue statement. So using continue to skip an iteration. So same list, right? This list. And now here, instead of using break, we are just using continue. So same syntax actually. The difference is we are just specifying continue instead of break, and of course this print statement here. So this is what happens when you use continue. So continue again. If this device is true, this will be printed, and then continue meaning skip this device. It didn't print this. It goes to the next iteration, which is in this case this IP address. So that's why we don't see, we see skipping this IP address instead of just IP address. Okay, now let's talk about the else statement. So using else with the for loop. So same list again. So here, there is a note here, or comment, runs only if no break. So if I copy and paste this line of code, so what happens is the else statement didn't print, or this print statement didn't print because we are using a break statement here. But if we remove this, we remove the if statement and break, the else statement will be printed. Yeah, so we have to, I mean, if you are going to use a else statement, you have to check whether you are using a break statement or not, because your else statement will not be printed. Now let's talk about the last example, which is in this case, so using pass in a for loop. So same list. So here, instead of using, if statement, we are using pass. So we are using pass because the pass statement does nothing. It's just used as a placeholder. And actually, if we already have a print statement in this case, we don't need the pass statement because we have the print statement already. So let me try to comment out the pass statement. So this code will still run. And if I uncomment the pass statement and comment out the print statement, we will not see printed in the console. Yeah, there's no error message. So that's how you would use a pass statement. Okay, so that's all I want to cover in this video. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.